What is the smartest thing you have ever done? For my two nieces' first birthdays, I got them investment accounts. I put $1,000 in each one and carefully set up their portfolios. I also didn't put their mom's name on the accounts because I don't like her. They've done really well over the last 14 to 16 years. Really well. They could pay for a good chunk of college with those funds. When my brother and his awful wife got divorced, she tried to claim that those accounts belonged to her. Nope. They have my name and the girls' names on them. Not hers. Fuck her. I'm a university student. One of our professors gave us a really tedious, useless assignment that involved walking around campus. Mid-January weather is wild, so I decided I wasn't going to do the walking. Told one of my coursemates to do the first half of questions and that I would do the second half. I then struck the same deal with another coursemate, but telling him I would do the first half and he could do the second half. Then just gave them each other's answers and done. Big taff with some friends and they were discussing how to split 2 slices of pizza between 2 people. They were talking about cutting each one in half and splitting fractions of pieces. I just suggested they could each have a whole slice instead. That must have been some good shit. Quit a job that was making me deeply depressed. I just did this 3 weeks ago. Then went on vacation to spend time with my family. I feel so much happier now. Bought a house in Los Angeles in 02, sold it in 04 after it had almost tripled in value. Took the money and moved to Austin, Texas, where I bought a house in 04. I'm still in that house. Realizing I'm not smart. There's a weird sense of liberty once you understand you are insignificant. Really random, but I specifically remember back in 9th grade my old English teacher every Friday did a riddle where we were allowed to ask yes or no questions. I remember he gave a hint that the person's profession in one of his riddles was that his job is a job that you don't see much anymore. I immediately yelled out travel agent right away and got it right. The teacher gave me a surprised look and told me I was right. I specifically remembered I felt like a smart little shit after that. Quit a job that made me feel like I was just a number. I now have a job that wants us to be involved in their company. The company itself is only 4 years old. I feel like I'm walking into a dream every time I walk into this job. When I worked as a car sales lady umpteen years ago, I had just finished with a guest and was outside just to take a quick 5 when another sales guy with a young couple come back from a test drive in a used Kia or Hyundai. Can't remember. So they get out of the car. The male half of the couple left the car running? As they got out, they shut the doors. This was back when automatic doors were not as common now, so the key for this car was a simple key. And because it was used, the original owner who traded it in only gave us 1 key. The salesman had opened the trunk to show them some features, but as the couple got out, they locked the doors on the car. So they are locked out of a running car with the trunk open. The salesman is starting to panic a little and knows if we have to call a locksmith, the cost could be cut from any potential commission. I already had a solution to the problem. So I go up to him and ask him if I get the car open. He owed me lunch. He looks relieved, smiling. I go to the trunk and see the release lever for the back seats. Push them forward. Now if I had been taller, I'm all of 5 feet. This may not have worked, but as small as I am, I crawled right into the trunk. Through the opening made by the back seat that I just laid down. Crawled in the main cabin. Turned off the car, ran. Unlocked the doors. Got a week's worth of lunch. He ended up selling the couple a certified used car of our own brand instead, which came with 2 keys and automatic door locks. Quick addendum, after this incident, the service department ended up getting a shim, so we can just open the car if someone accidentally locked the keys in the car, which happened to me a year later. I got to work, locked my keys in my car, and ended up breaking into my own car with the shim. I once heated up a glazed donut in the microwave. Harvard wants to know your location. In kindergarten, I was at an after-school daycare. An older picked me up and hung me upside by my feet while a friend distracted him. I tied his shoelaces together. After he put me down, I made fun of him and ran. He tried to chase and immediately tripped and went to the floor. I peaked at age 5. Once a few years ago, my French teacher asked the class what the shortest possible French word which used every vowel in the alphabet was. He wasn't counting Y. I instantly blurted out oiseau, meaning bird. The entire class all looked at me in disbelief. I was not exactly the smartest guy back then. I felt so proud in those few seconds of glory. Edit. Spelling. I keep a giant laundry basket in my car at all times. When I do groceries, I dump everything in them, eliminating the need for plastic bags. And then I only have to make one trip from my car to my apartment. Win. Blocked people on Reddit that try to get a case of the ass with me. Sometimes it's better not to engage. They're just trolls. Not gotten pregnant. Seeing all these girls my age with toddlers literally shackled to their couch on FB all day makes me so grateful I was responsible with birth control in college. App US history. Apash was about to start. Our teacher said that there was a leftover donut from her homeroom party if anyone wanted it. Another girl and I both wanted the donut, so we decided to share it. We were stumped for a minute on how to cut it in half in the most hygienic way, because we weren't close enough to take bites out of the same donut. When I figured that I could rip a piece of the hard cardboard box the donuts came in and use that to slide the donut in half, I proceeded to do just that with a table of Apash students watching me. It worked, and in that moment, I got the greatest amount of "that was so smart" and "how clever" comments I got at once in my entire life. Still very proud of that small, yet special moment. When I saw the Android market emerge with very few games, I quickly learned to program in Java and got my games out there. Had a #1 game in the sports category for about a month or so. Made enough money to move my family out of a house we bought for way too much money during the housing crisis and into something much better. Within a year, income from the Android market went to shit when it became Google Play and a million competitors showed up. Good thing it was really just a nice side gig at the time, and I had my other business to fall back on. Married the nice guy, and not the bad boy who gave me the butterflies. Honestly, draw against a 1650 rated chess player Mayo. Don't think it was the smartest thing, but was a aha, I told you so moment. Few years back my niece was just starting to eat solid food. Went out with a family to a Hong Kong style eatery. Niece kept coughing up anything Sis-in-law fed her. Had to convince Sis-in-law and my mom that cupping your hand below niece's chin is just signaling her to throw up. They stopped doing that and she started eating normally. Taking a web development part-time course instead of going to college. I have practical skills, aren't in debt, and physically enjoy the work, rather than getting out of college and only knowing theory, being tens of thousands in debt for most of my life, and having to drag myself through loads of homework every night. Take the bullet out at that gun. Dropped out of college when a job opportunity in high tech showed up. Was studying chemical engineering. Would taken 2 more years to complete, so I can get a fraction of what I make now. One time when I was delivering pizzas at like 2 AM, I knock on a hotel room and it's answered by some pretty trashed kids. And one of them goes, "Quick, pizza guy, what's the name of the first Roman emperor to officially adapt Christianity?" And without missing a beat I answered Constantine. A second later they all erupted, literally, into cheers as the one you just won his game of Trivia Pursuit. Got a $20 tip. And a feeling of smugness that I still haven't let go of. Thank you EU, Rome. I was in 10th grade English, and I was not paying attention at all, and the teacher called my name. He had asked a question and I panicked, and blurted out, "It's more sophisticated." And he said, "Good answer," and went on. The ducking relief I felt in that moment was euphoric. The smugness of getting away with it came later, and I still have no idea what the question was. Won an argument with my wife. You never win. You just get to a mutual point and quit. Left my narcissistic and drug addicted ex. Took myself and my 2 kids and moved back in with my parents to start our lives over again. Got help after trying to kill myself. Depression is a bitch, but I have a lot of help in my corner. Not giving a duck about what my parents want for me, in moderation. I think it's helped me find who I might be. Got into medical school. Not everyone in my friend group in college was academically inclined / all are doing pretty well though at their own things / and we liked to party hard when we got together. I had a tendency go a bit overboard occasionally due to stress and social anxiety, and essentially played the role of the group fool. Pretty sure some thought I was borderline mentally handicapped. Blew so many minds when I announced going through the application cycle and my acceptances. Had a number of people ask how a degenerate like me could have gotten in. And it was always interesting to explain how us drinking only took 1 night a week to maybe 2 nights a week / after I would already have my class shit taken care of / and if it ever occurred to them why I would be around once a week while they would be drinking together 3 to 4 nights a week. Never started smoking. I have made lots of screw ups in my life and I'm paying for some of them decades later. But getting addicted to foul smelling, super expensive habit is one thing I do pat myself on the back for. Bought an iPod Touch with a small inheritance. I'm now married and a published writer because of it. Can you elaborate more? This sounds interesting. The iPod Touch contained the works of an aspiring writer. Many years worth of material. Actually, the books were written out from the text on the iPod and then published. Eventually the series even spawned a TV show. Sadly the whole anthology had not yet been worked out and so now things are stuck. The series is near the end, but the writing just isn't there. It's been several years now, and there's no follow-up in sight. Because how could there be? Paid off my house in my 20s. Redesigned the mounting bracket on a few actuators that moved some louvers that were for airflow in an electrical room. They wouldn't fit in the enclosure with the factory brackets, so the engineers were trying to decide if they were going to need to buy some different actuators or enlarge the enclosure. So while they wasted time I made up a new bracket and re-angled the arm so it would fit and rigged up a mock enclosure and wired up a temporary switch to show them it still worked. I was pretty proud since I was only like 20 at the time and only had 2 years of experience in the trade. When my family and I were having a debate on extraterrestrial life and whether it aligns with Christian beliefs and how we are the image of God and we are his project, I then said after that, what if we are just one of God's many projects? Smartest thing I've said at the dinner table. Silence the rest of the meal with lots of thinking on my parents' part. Get the military to pay for college. There's plenty of jobs in the service that aren't hard or dangerous and even teach you a skill. Too many people think it's gonna be like Full Metal Jacket. Took 2 donuts and put ice cream in the middle. I learned absolutely nothing in physics class because I slept through all of it. I was good at math though, so I just put all the equations and some definitions with programmable inputs in the graphic calculator for the final exam. Made a 90 something based on those equations alone. Didn't learn a goddamn thing. Except that cheating is very easy if it involves looking at a calculator and pushing buttons on it. I once calculated the speed of light in m/s to 4 significant figures in my head because I could remember how far a light year was, but not the speed of light. Please subscribe and leave a like if you enjoyed this video and if you want to see more of Reddit Universe.